have a good time, talk about drones, one line about grinder.
G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, we've got a super cool video I can't wait to show you. Have you ever wanted to drastically improve your DVR? We're going to show you how to do that so you can get some really nice, high-quality DVR for once, which is going to be a must if you're flying around with your Mobula 7s and all those little ones that don't carry a HD camera. And also, check out what I've got right here. We are actually streaming to my iPad, so my little Mobula 7, and we're picking up live on the iPad. So that's with the help of a special little box from FXT. So what we're going to do when it's sticking on the bench, break it down, quickly look at some of the features, how we're streaming to the iPad, you know, is this going to be useful for you? And then the big one, my radio's going off, which I've got on the floor. We'll take it out to the field, fly around with the DVR box, and I'm going to show you the difference between the normal DVR you see on your Fat Sharks and how much better it looks when you record on this little high quality box. Let's do it. Stick it on the bench, stream some more stuff to the iPad, have some fun in 3, 2, 1. Oh, I should also point out too, I know some people can do this with tablets and all that sort of stuff, but look, I've got an iPad and I'm excited because I know a lot of people have iPads at home, and what better way, if you're flying around, you could pass this to your kid and they could watch and fly around as well. So anyway, stick it on the bench and get started with the review. Alrighty, here it is on the bench. Here's the little unit itself. We're going to go through a brief overview, then show you some of its features, talk about what it can do, but when you get it, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get the DVR box, a nice little belt clip, which look, I didn't think I'd find useful, but turns out I did, and also your little cable to connect it up, whether to your Fat Sharks, your ground stations, whatever receiver you are using. Now, as an overview, what this is, it is a little box. It's designed to record our first, I'm going to say, high quality DVR. It's 720p and also up to 60 frames per second, which is much better than what most of us are used to with our DVR recording in our goggles. Now, it's not going to be for everybody. Why, my radio's still going. It's not going to be for everybody. Some people think this is more than adequate, but for those people, they might want to be posting maybe some pictures or doing some social media, or just want to share some higher quality DVR videos. Well, this thing definitely has its place. Now, what it can do, its input voltage is 7 to 23 volts, and other than that, it's very, very simple. So you've got your AV in, AV out. Here's your on-off button, your record button if you want to use that. Here's your Wi-Fi if you want to have Wi-Fi or not, which is very important when we're going to hook it up to our app and to our iPad or iPhones. And then also a little SD card slot where you slide that in, and that's it around the unit itself. Now, to power it, look, you don't need to get, it takes one of the same little plugs that the Fat Sharks take, so I'm just going to power mine on. You can see a blue light is ready to rock and roll if I had an SD card in here. I like how the Wi-Fi is actually a slider. It's not just a button, so we're going to turn our Wi-Fi on, and then this is how we hook it up to our Fat Shark. So you need to power your Fat Sharks on. And then all those people too getting triggered about there's no antennas on here, don't worry, that doesn't matter on receiver antennas. That's only for transmitting antennas. The amount of comments and emails I get about that. But yeah, anyway, now we're going to plug this in, right, we'll make sure we're going in. There we go. And now what we can do, so that is going to be recording. If I had a little SD card in here, it's going to record whatever I pick up from my goggles. But also, if we turn our iPad on here, alrighty, so you can see we've hooked it up, and now you guys, well, you can see straight up my nose with this right here. There is a little bit of latency between this, I don't know, I'm sure someone can do a more scientific test, but between this and the actual camera. But I think this is fantastic for people who want to use their iPad for an actual screen. Maybe they want some people to fly around with, have a good time. Something like this is going to make it a lot easier for people to get involved, jump in. And look, it's not going to be perfect. I do find streaming to the iPad more than my phone. It freezes up a little bit more for a couple of seconds. So if you're using it for some serious hardcore racing, I don't think this is going to be the one for you. But overall, if you just want to share this with your family, maybe someone sitting on the couch next to you, like, hey, check out where I'm flying around, especially with these little things flying indoors, that's going to make a big difference. Now, there is some other functions in here. You can record it to your phone, you can take snapshots, save the videos. There's a few different settings as well which you can muck around with, but pretty much it is a very, hopefully this goes back, what's going on here? But pretty much it's just a nice, easy way to finally get some stuff on iPad. I know on iOS it can be a pain. For everybody who uses Android, yes, the other cables that you can just directly hook up to your phone, I agree, that's fantastic. I really, really like this. But so far, this is probably one of the best solutions. And also, being wireless, I really like that we can just sort of stream straight to it. So I'm a big fan of that part. But that's it on the bench. That's the box. That's what it's like on the iPad screen. What do you guys think? Now the fun stuff, what you probably want to see and what I think most pilots are going to be buying it for is how does this thing actually perform out in the field? What is the DVR quality actually like? It's only 30 frames per second if you record it on the app over Wi-Fi, but you can get 60 frames per second out here. So let's have a look. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison between old Fat Shark DVR and then the good stuff. We'll have a look at some higher quality DVR with a good race we had with Long Range Tonys. Let's do it. Go fly around. Check out some DVR in the tiny park heaven in 3, 2, 1. Okie dokie, here we go, some spec racing with the Mobulas. So much fun here, racing a Long Range Tony, and we've also upgraded the frames on these little Mobulas. So we're taking an absolute beating. It's crazy now how good whoops actually are, how fun they are racing your mates. But this is the standard DVR recording you are used to with your Fat Sharks. And in a moment, we're going to jump over. You're going to see like the size and the better quality of the DVR box, and then we'll do a side-by-side comparison as well. Now, one thing I do want to point out before we do our fancy transition, I had to convert this file again, so my video codec or whatever, I don't understand the computer part too much, but so I could put it into this side by side. But I'm going to put the raw file, I'm going to link that down below in the description. That should be like a Google Form docs. If you want to download that, you can check out just how good this thing looks in all its raw glory, because it doesn't even do justice here. It actually looks even better. So here we go. This is the new version. You can see the colors look better, and a surprising note as well, I didn't understand this at the time, or I didn't pick it up, but you actually get the full size of your picture. So you can see here, the camera is actually a little bit wider, more true to life than what it's used to if I'm just using the DVR recording. DVR is usually always 4:3 when it comes from the Fat Sharks, and I'm not 100% sure, like it's not 16:9, but it is definitely a little bit more widescreen. So you can see here they are, side by side, nicer colors. Of course, the breakup is exactly the same because it's using the same receiver, and that does make it easy to compare them side by side. But you'll notice it's less jumpy, it doesn't drop as many frames, and the original quality is even better than what you're sort of seeing here, and especially with some YouTube compression and all that sort of stuff. So here's another side by side, and I think most people will agree it does look better. Now look, it's not going to be for everybody, because some people, look, they're happy with their Fat Shark DVR. This is more for those pilots. Maybe you're publishing to social media, maybe you want to record some higher quality DVR, and it's just doing it that little bit better. So I like it that it can be 60 frames per second, and I think if you don't have space for a GoPro and you don't want to install those individual DVR recorders on board your drone, maybe you want to keep the weight down as low as possible, something like this on your Mobula 7, or if you're a hardcore racer who still wants to record some better quality DVR to show it off to your mates, well, this is a fantastic solution. And on top of that, you've got actually an iOS app where you can use it on your iPhone or your, and of course the Android devices and all that sort of stuff, but your iPad as well is just a nice little added bonus with that Wi-Fi. Now, I guess the only little extra I would like to see is maybe some different, like a different power cable, so you could just connect it to the back of your Fat Sharks, or even a module you can plug into your Fat Sharks, maybe in the head tracker bay or something like that. I think there's space like that. That'd be great. You could use that to actually record DVR. And also, if you could just somehow put a little receiver with it, so maybe you could have, so it could be a little standalone unit that could record. It has its own little antenna on there, so you don't actually need something like a Fat Shark or an external receiver or anything like that. That'd be my two little pieces of advice for like maybe revision 2 or the next version that comes out. But what do you guys think? Remember, definitely if you're interested, check out that high quality DVR file. I'll link down below, because I think you'll be surprised when you see that one as well. A little bit of a stack there. I think you'll be surprised because it doesn't even do it justice here. It looks even better. So definitely go check out that raw file. Try to go under the bridge, no success. Alrighty, so there it is. There's my review of the FXT little DVR box, and overall I think it has a big place in our market. Number one, if you want to record some HD DVR, this is definitely one of your better options. What do I say HD? Higher quality DVR, I should say. It is much nicer than the Fat Sharks. You saw that in the comparison. Better frames per second, all that sort of stuff. So if you're flying around, maybe you're just going out to the races and you want to record, you don't want to put a HD recorder on there, you can't carry a GoPro, or maybe you're flying something like a little Mobula and you can't carry it, well, this is definitely a good option. And also, oh look, I do know people can put onboard DVRs, but you might want to not go through and put them on all your quads. Maybe you've got really severe weight restrictions. This, as far as I'm concerned, is a fantastic option because it's just going to work with all your quads, record some DVR. And the other one, if you've got an iPad or an iPhone, and look, I don't really like Apple and all that sort of stuff, but it can be very hard to get your videos on those, and just so many people have iPads at home. This is great. You just plug it in, you can Wi-Fi it up, and you can use that as like another monitor for people to watch or ride along, or if you've got kids at home and they want to watch what dad's doing or mum's doing as they're flying around the house. I think that's a really good way to get them involved, and something that I think it's going to help people in this hobby as well. So anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think. I guess on the con side, sometimes I did find when I did the recording on some certain SD cards, it wouldn't always record, so that could be the SD card problem. I'm not sure. Other times it worked flawlessly. I do wish somehow, maybe in a revision 2 here, if you're listening FXT guys, it would be really cool if you could just put a little receiver in here as well, so we could attach an antenna, so that was your entire solution. And also, if you could make it so we could easily clip it up and somehow power it off maybe the balance lead on our Fat Shark plugs, because then you've got the entire powered solution. It's powering your goggles, powering your recorder, and you're getting some nice little HD. Even better, imagine if a little module you could just clip into your goggles and it did the same sort of thing. But overall, I'm rambling. I'm kind of impressed. I like it. What do you guys think? Drop your comments down below. What do you think about, even share some hate for Apple, because I'm definitely not a fan of them. But I am a fan of some technology that lets us actually use our iPad. When I first started this, I looked for so long because I thought the iPad, it is a nice bright screen, the very first iPad I ever had, and I thought, you know what? Let's find a way to get some of my video feed on this, and there was no solutions at the time. So it's great that this thing's come along. I'm rambling. Other than that, subscribe for more FXT DVR box related iPad streaming action. And as always, happy flying. And shout out to Long Range Tony, because nothing better, daylight savings is here. Getting out after tea, flying around, just having an awesome time with the Mobulas, some little spec racing. It was a bunch of fun. Anyway, other than that, happy flying.